Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Jojo Palacio, and on this channel we talk about all things beauty. Today is no different. I'm super excited because we are reviewing this eyeshadow palette and some brushes right here. So as you guys saw in my last video, I did a makeup haul with the Makeup Shack, and I am super excited to review those products live with you today. Not live, but like for the very first time today, just because I really enjoyed absolutely everything that I purchased, and I can't wait to try out the other palettes. So this is the eyeshadow palette we're playing with today. It is called Muse by the Makeup Shack. Muse is a, what is this? 12 pan eyeshadow palette. It is a huge pan, as you can see. It is a magnetic type of eyeshadow palette. This is cardboard, so it closes and it's magnetized shut, which I like. It's got a mirror. The mirror goes all the way back, which I also love. And the pan sizes are intense. They're huge. I really like playing with this eyeshadow palette. I like creating this look. Did not mean to do this look at all. I started out with something completely different and then went into this like, when I got a chance to see all these colors, I was like, yeah, there's no way that I'm doing something soft, something subtle. We're going in. And I'm glad that I did. The shadows blended out super nice. I'm gonna discuss that with you in the tutorial. And then I also purchased some brushes. I'm very excited to use these brushes. So if you want to find out how I created this look, continue to watch this video. If you are interested in seeing the entire haul, go check out my Makeup Shack haul video where I discuss everything, prices, shadow, brushes in detail. That way you don't miss a beat. So let me not hold you up any longer and let's get into this eyeshadow tutorial. All right guys, so let's get started on this look. Like you saw in the intro, we're using this palette right here. It's called Muse by Makeup Shack. And so we have really pretty colors in this palette. We're gonna play in here, see how we feel about this palette. I've heard of the Makeup Shack before, but I've never used any of their products. So creating this eye look with all new like eyeshadow brushes, eyeshadows was really interesting. You're always nervous when you do something like that though, because you don't know how it's gonna turn out. And I know that I always film the eye look prior to coming on camera and showing you guys, but it's still nerve-wracking because I had a whole video planned around it, and if it didn't work, like what was I gonna do, you know? So, luckily these shadows performed like a dream. I will say that right off the bat. These Makeup Shack shadows and the brushes truly impressed me. They are such good quality. I'm prepping my eyelid with the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and then I'm setting everything with my MAC C2, Studio Fix in C2. This is truly, like that stuff I didn't change because I wanted to see how well the products, the powders performed with like what I usually typically do. So we're gonna keep that stuff the same. I'm excited to get into this. So I know I spoke about these babies in the intro. These are all a handful of brand new brushes that we use for this, and I am super excited. So I have T59 right here, which the T59 is a synthetic blending brush. I really liked. So this is what the brush looks like. It's a synthetic brush. It's fluffier at the top. It's longer. It's definitely a fuller brush. I love that for blending, especially for the crease shades. So we're gonna go in and you start off with the crease. I'm gonna pick up this color right here. It's called Iconic. It is a matte cream colored shade. I love this tan shade. So we're gonna dust off and we're gonna go right into the crease area. And I built this crease shade up quite a bit. It's gonna help me start to create the shape that I want for this eyeshadow look. And let me just say, I love this brush. It is nice and fluffy, but it is not as big as my other crease brushes that I have. Yet it still does cover a lot of ground, so I really did like it. How cute are the handles to these Makeup Shack brushes? It's a white with a rose gold around the hair bristles. I love that as well. So I'm just gonna keep building this color, working it in, making sure to really get some good definition. And one thing I do wanna remind you guys is don't forget to bring it in pretty far into the inner corner We are gonna cut like kind of like a half crease cut type of situation, but it'll be worth it. So again, that was the T59. This is gonna quickly become one of my favorite brushes. Like, I feel that, you know? So next we're gonna move on to the T4. Sorry that I keep like looking across the way, but I have my sheet of paper here. Where is this one yet? T4 is a pointed blending brush. I'm gonna use the back of this because it's black and it'll like look better. So this guy here, it's not picking up because it's white. Okay, so it's still a blending brush, longer bristles. This is definitely synthetic hair. It's tapered, so it's pointier up at the top. It's sleeker, thinner in density than the first one that we used, but definitely still a blending brush. So when I want to start to define the crease a little more and start to go into the darker colors, I'll pick up a brush like this to do that. So I'm gonna go into Ari, which is right here. This eyeshadow palette, the Muse eyeshadow palette, was how much? $16.99, and it's huge. The pans are huge. First of all, these colors are super cute with the neutrals and then pops of color. I was totally gonna do a low-key lay down type look until I saw this green that's on my eyelid, and I was like, get on my eyeball. I love it. So I'm gonna pick up Ari, and I just always wanna remind you guys to pick it up, build that color up on the brush first, and then you can definitely apply it to your eyelid. It'll just apply better. It'll show up better as far as pigment. Your blend will be smoother because you're not going in and digging into your eye to make sure the color shows up because you worked it into the brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and start to do that. So I'm gonna do that like right below that first shade, Iconic. You still wanna bring it pretty far into the inner corner and then build it up in this outer corner as much as possible. Really focusing the pigment and the majority of the payoff in this outer corner. Like, I love a nice smoke blend into this inner corner, but you also wanna make sure you're defining. Because even before you cut the crease, like, yes, the cut crease is gonna help to define and really sketch that out, but you can never really fake a blend. So you wanna make sure you're blending and keeping everything as gradient and as soft as possible. Okay, so we're gonna go into the next brush that I got, which is the T50. The T50 is a tapered blending brush, and I'll show you the difference between the one that I just used because they're very similar. So where am I gonna hold this? I'm gonna hold this right here. Wait for it to zoom in. Okay, so you see how the one that we were just using is flatter, like it's tapered, but it's flatter versus this is a sharp point that it's going into. So this is really gonna help us dig into the hollow of the crease area and really help us build that up. So I'm gonna go into two shades, Kim and Resi. So Kim is right here. It's a deeper brown, and then Resi is definitely like a true brown shade. It's still got some red in it, but it's definitely brown. So I'm gonna pick that up again, building it up on the brush. And then I'm gonna lay the first amount of product right in the outer corner because I'm okay with that being the darkest. And then just lean my head back a little to build up this crease. And I'm really gonna take my time with these colors, so I'm even just gonna put that palette down. I've got a mirror here that I'm working with. And I'm just going to blend that into this area. It's okay to go into the lid. We're gonna clean that up. And I'm gonna even go back and like emphasize some of the colors with it, but I really just wanna build this shape right here, especially in this outer corner. All right guys, so it is time to cut our crease, and I'm really excited about it because up until now I hadn't had a big flat brush, and so this is the T79. So it looks like this. The T79 is described as a large shader brush. This guy was just $6.99. And I'll make sure to type out the prices to everything below in case I forgot to mention anything. I think I covered everything in the intro, but you know, things happen. I get excited and I want to educate and forget to talk about stuff. So I'm gonna just pick up my ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I use this in the shade Light 10, and I love Light 10 because it reminds me of just my regular Eden primer, and I'm gonna use that on this shader brush, and we're gonna go in and carve out our crease. Now this brush is big as far as like wide, and I love how thin it is, so this is truly gonna help me. Like, I loved how quickly I was able to carve out this side with it. So I'm just gonna stop for a minute and look up and just kind of stamp things out and then drag it in. So we've got a semi-carved out lid. I am super excited because we're gonna go into this color Goddess. I know you've been staring at it the entire time. I keep pulling up these this eyeshadow palette. I was too. I was gonna go with something completely different, but I saw the shade and it like, this shade and these two purples, y'all know something purple is coming, I'm just saying. So that shade is called Goddess, and I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna pack it onto my Jaclyn Hill X Morphe JH41 brush, build it up quite a bit, get rid of the excess stuff, and then really start to pack it and build it into my lid area. It is so pigmented, it is so smooth. I didn't have to wet it. I just really swiping motions towards the inner, like the center of the eyelid, and then I just do the same thing when it comes to the outer corner, just swipe in to really not only feather the edges, but also make sure you are not widening your area. We don't need to widen, we just need to make sure we set and cover what we carved out. I did not get a small blending brush. I'm gonna go into my BH Cosmetics number 7 small brush here, and we're gonna take a mix of Kim and Resi, really mostly Resi to really deepen up the outer corner. Resi is that dark brown color, and I'm gonna start by just blending out this green in the outer edges and really working to deepen that up a little bit. I almost went into Luna, but Luna is like a chocolate, almost purple brown, and it would have been too rich for this. So I'm just going to focus on using Resi. We're gonna work on our wing, and I actually went back to my first love of liners. To me, in my opinion, there's nothing easier as far as liners go than a gel liner. So I got the Maybelline New York Eye Studio gel liner in Black is Black. I love starting out, sketching out my wing with a gel liner and then like kind of defining it and really finalizing it with a liquid. Excuse me, with the liquid. So that's what we're gonna do. And I'm using the Morphe M71 brush, 7M217 brush. And so this is one of those that has like the elbow type of shape to it. And so you can really place it and finagle it all kind of ways to get your wing going. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build up the gel on the brush, and we are gonna sketch out our wing. So I start by placing the brush like this and just really carving out my top lash line. And then once I've got that top line done, then I just turn it over and I do my wing with it directly, like as the shape of the wing, like where the wing is going. So if it's this way, it's for this eye, and I would flip it opposite and do it for that eye. Okay, so once I've kind of got the wing down where I want it, I'm gonna perfect it with my liquid liner. The liquid liner just makes it a little deeper, but I can also get it precise because of the tip of this. The tip on that pencil isn't that sharp. I've considered cutting it, but I don't want to mess it up either. So I'm just gonna go over everything with this. All right guys, so let's get into this complexion part, and I'm excited because I have complexion brushes too. I did see some like contour palettes at the Makeup Shack, but because I have so many, I mean, I can always justify buying an eyeshadow palette, right, over one color, but I can't justify having like 1,000 different contour palettes, just given the fact that I already purchased some from Sephora, and your girl ain't there yet, but when she is, send it my way, Makeup Shack, okay? Okay, so we are going right along into complexion. For complexion, we are using some really old but goodie favorites of mine. They actually both happen to be in pumps. So for the midsection, given that I am combination skin, I'm gonna use Pore Refiner by Dr. Brandt. This guy not only helps to absorb the oil, but it also diminishes and it minimizes the pores as you use it. So we like that. And then I'm gonna use the Urban Decay All Nighter Primer. That one just really helps to keep the makeup on a long time. It's good for temperature control, which we here in Florida need because the temperature cannot make up its mind. Some days it is like beautiful to go for walks and jogs in, and other days it is like scorching hot and you want to stay inside. I am super excited. Actually, before we start with the foundation, I'm gonna color correct today. This is the Fix It Color 2-in-1 Prime and Color Correct for Face, Eyes, and Lips by Dior. I have, for whatever reason, noticed that I am, well, not for whatever reason, we are going through a pandemic and your girl is a nurse working like crazy. So for whatever reason, the days just mentally are super heavy and I cannot sleep enough at night. So I am using this guy. It's got like a primer solution hydrator in the center, while it is also a color correcting orange peachy tone. I know you can't see it on camera, but it is definitely peachy. My under eye areas are super dark. I'm gonna use it to correct a little bit of the redness that I have in the center of the face. Do the same thing around my nose area, and immediately you can see that it's like doing its job, which is nice. But guys, I have noticed I am struggling with my under eyes, like darkness, not even circles. It is just, yeah, under eye circles. Is that what it's called? Under eye circles. It's not puffy, it's just dark. So I'm just going to blend that out. And then I also like a little forgiveness around the nose area with it. And this just happens to help me with the redness on my forehead. So I'm gonna take advantage and use that. But you guys can see how it like instantly helped to camouflage and help your girl out just a little bit, because we are going through it. So for complexion, we are using this guy here. This is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I got it in the shade Stromboli in my gratis haul, the last one that you guys saw. I don't know if this is my shade. It looks a little yellow, but I have been getting some sun because we've been jogging and stuff, so let's see. I am excited for this foundation because I love using it on clients. I love seeing it on Instagram and YouTube, but I haven't had the pleasure of trying it, so here we are trying it. This is meant to be a long wearing, medium to full coverage, depending on how you apply it, foundation. I'm gonna use a buffing brush by the Makeup Shack. This is the T40. The T40 is described as a tone foundation brush. So we're gonna take that, it's like my other brushes, very buff and dense, so it's gonna help me build. It's definitely gonna help me keep this foundation more on the fuller coverage side. So I'm gonna work this in. Color's not that bad. This is such a light feeling foundation that you almost think you're not putting anything on, and you're like, wait, is it covering? When clients come in saying, I want a really nice, not matte foundation that's thin feeling, but has good coverage, but basically has it all, and it's a good price, I always run to this. I've just never purchased it myself, because again, I mean, we get so many things that, like, why would I buy a foundation? Honestly, that's wasteful. So I'm gonna just take a little more. It feels really, really good. Like really thin, it looks really good. It looks very natural on. It feels really nice on. I could probably go one shade lighter in the color, but we're gonna color correct. This brush though, ooh, how much was this? This was, it was $14, y'all. This is so good. I mean, you know that I have 100,000 brushes just like it, but we needed another one, obviously. I just look how cute this handle is, and the fact that it's got the rose gold. I really like foundation brushes like this. This is an easy way to get full coverage. This is a medium coverage, and then obviously your hands is a light coverage. Don't ever use your hands, ever. Don't do that. Let's go into the bronzing contouring part of it. As you know, we're gonna use my Milk Makeup foundation stick. I'm gonna take that guy and I'm gonna use it right on my cheekbones to help give me some color, help define. I love this formula. It is so easy to blend out. I cannot rave about this enough. Now, the brush that I'm gonna use is the T22, which is considered a contouring brush. But let me just say that this is also a really good blending foundation brush. Sephora has one that's like this that I really like, and it's just a really easy airbrush type of finish. But this guy, what is this? A T22. It is an oval contour brush, and it was $10.99. So I'm just gonna work this in. This is definitely smaller than my usual brush that I use for this, and it definitely blends it into the skin easier. I usually use this guy, you know, but we gotta try new things. We can't always, we won't ever learn and experience new things if we don't try them. So this definitely diminishes, blends that out a lot more than the other brush. Don't know if that's good, I don't know if that's bad. We'll see how it looks in photos, but this is really pretty. It's a very soft, the bristles are longer than my other one, but you know, boom. Okay, let's go into concealer because I'm excited. This concealer I've talked about a few times. in my channel. Y'all, I'm trying. I am trying to keep my hair cute and all for when the camera turns on, but it's hard when you're doing your makeup. So we're using this guy right here. This is the NARS Custard Soft Matte Complete Concealer. Love this. Absolutely love it. I'm gonna take, what do I wanna? I usually like to apply it with like a nice buff brush, so I'm gonna use this one by Morphe, and we're gonna just pick it up, and we're gonna apply it in the areas that we want it. The coverage on this is insane, so I'll just apply it with the brush, like place it down, and then I will kind of start to feather out the ends here, but we're gonna really push that into the skin with a sponge. That's just how I've seen or experienced, and it blends out the best, and it's just easier to blend out in these little areas here when you do it like that. Because we are laying it down and then we're waiting to push it out, that's kind of gonna help dry it out a little bit. So as that's drying, we're just gonna take it in the forehead first. I always like to leave the under eye area for last, just because I can go right into the powders as I finish that to set it and then avoid creasing. It really just melts into the skin. We can start to see that it's not as yellow looking anymore. It's really helping to blend things out. So I'm gonna do the same thing around the mouth area. Just push it in with my blending sponge. What I'm gonna do next is just quickly go into setting. So to set, I like to use a pressed powder. This is the MAC Studio Fix in C2. And what I've been doing lately is just using the sponge itself. So I'm just gonna grab that on the sponge, and we're gonna go in and set. So the sponge has a little bit of hydration still in it. It is not super damp at this point because it's been sitting for, you know, since as long as it's taken me to do my brows and my eyes. It's still damp, it's still moist, but it's not wet. So what that means is it's gonna help me set this, push the products in, but it's not gonna just suck it dry either. I just like the fact that this helps to build coverage, but it also keeps things where they should be. That's there. I'm also gonna bake. So that setting, we're gonna bake. If you're someone who's drier, you're gonna skip the baking part. You're just gonna set your makeup. Now, can you set your makeup with a loose powder instead of a pressed one? Yes, you can. Just don't bake. Use a brush or something. So I'm gonna take that on the same sponge, and I'm gonna bake primarily in the center, like right in the nose area, right in the T-zone. And then I'm also gonna do it in the forehead and the chin, because that is where your girl gets greasy and oily. Throughout the day, I just noticed that I have to like dab. All right guys, so once you've blown up that quite a bit, I'm gonna take the Resi shade in my stiff shading brush, which is by Jaclyn Hill and Morphe, the JH43. And we're gonna use this stiff brush to really just deepen up this lower lash line. I am gonna put black liner on today. I know, who is she? We don't know. All right guys, so here goes the black. The black that I did, I waterlined the top, and I'm gonna do the bottom with this Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in 0. Right, so I'm gonna use the two shades to go right in and contour up. I like to leave the bakage on there sometimes, just because it'll help me smoothly blend things onto the skin. These two shades are definitely contour shades. They're more on the grayer tone, so they're not gonna add color, they're just gonna add dimension. Oh, and I'm using a Real Techniques contouring brush. So using my BH Cosmetics No. 2 brush and that center shade is what I use to help me bronze and give color, because it is more on the orangey side. I'm gonna just take that and brush it right up against everything to really blend things out. Taking an angled blush, this one is by Lahses. I like to do my nose contour with this. Notice when I was teaching my contouring class, a lot of people really toned in and focused on this part. So I just like to take an angled brush and trace it from my brow all the way down to the tip of my nose, and then really just hug the tip of the nose with the brush. So we are almost there. I'm just gonna take my MAC Medium Golden Mineralized Skin Finish powder and just dust everything off and really just even things out. This will kind of tone down the contouring, tone down the bronzing, wipe off any excess loose powder that I may have. Color correct as well. It's just a nice like last step. because I've been going in on my highlights lately in all of my pictures. I like love it. So for highlight today, we're using the Makeup Forever Pro Light Fusion Undetectable Luminizer, and that's the golden one. I feel like that'll play really well with this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it on this guy. This is the JH09 brush, and I'm just going to build that up quite a bit on this brush, really pack it in there because we're gonna just go in. So I'm gonna take it firstly right here. Ooh. Yes. And then right above the brow, but really focus it right here. Almost like have it go up into the eyeshadow. That's really pretty. It's gonna look amazing in sunlight. I say okay, cool a lot, and I have to like remind myself where I am sometimes because at work, like here you're talking to your nurse and you know someone says something like, oh, you know, I really need your help with this patient. I feel like there's something wrong, and I'm like, okay, cool, and I'm like running down the hall to help people out, but it's not cool. Like that's just how I respond to things. So we're gonna go into this MAC Just a Pinch Extra Dimension blush. I love this blush for looks like this because it is like a corally peachy, very natural looking on the skin. Like I'm a darker complexion, not dark, but like I do have a tan. And so this just kind of really helps to tie things together. Plus it is a really pretty, glowy, radiant blush. So I love it. Set my face with the All Nighter setting spray. Melt everything together. Love it. I am going to pick a lipstick, fix my hair, and I'll be right back to do this outro with you guys. All right, guys, so this is the finished look. I paired this like ombre nude lip. I went 90s with it. I feel like, I don't know, I'm loving it. So I did that with the Huda Beauty Lip Contour in Spice Girl. And then I also used this Mellow Cosmetics matte lipstick in Posh. I love this matte lipstick. It has to be one of my favorite nude lipsticks. I'm gonna use my affiliate link down below for you guys so that you can purchase it right with Mellow Cosmetics. They do have a 10% discount available for you guys, so take advantage of that. I'm super excited. It is my official first affiliate link, and I cannot wait for y'all to get the advantage of that. And then I topped it off with the I Love Side Eye EX ColourPop Ultra Gloss Lip and Glass Lip, and it is honestly the best nude topper ever. This is the finished look right here. I mean, overall, I really did like all of the brushes and the Makeup Shack eyeshadow palette that I used. I do have two other ones that I want to use. Two other ones? I have three other ones that I want to use, y'all, and I'm super excited to review those with you guys. That is it for my review. If you like videos like this, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. If you happen to check out the Makeup Shack, let me know what you thought of that too. I mean, the prices are incredible. It is super inexpensive, very good quality, and I'm super excited. That's it for today's tutorial, guys. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram. It's Jojo Palacio, and subscribe to my channel. I post every Wednesday and every Saturday, and I cannot wait to see you guys next time. Bye.